Who's this Dekiru, and why do all the pros want to adopt him? By 80sGayTrashGoblin. Chapter 1 Dekiru's Debut. Izuku hiked a duffel bag over his shoulder, stepping into the hospital. He just nodded at the nurse, having been there for a month now. He knew where he was going. Besides, any opportunity to avoid talking to the Quirkus secretary was a good one. His mother has stage 4 cancer, which means she needs to stay in the hospital. It wasn't an ideal situation, but they're both trying to make the most of it. The 14-year-old managed to get a job at a cat cafe, but it was a part-time job fit around school. His mom managed to sign up for him to transfer Izuku to an online school, which means he's now out of Hell, or Aldera Junior High. He continued his hobby of analyzing and running after heroes, but his dream of being a hero was slowly getting dimmer and dimmer. The longer his mom was in the hospital, the more his dream felt like a delusion. But now there was a skip in his step. He had a breakthrough this morning, and the ashes of his old dream lit the inferno for a new one. After all, he can't be a hero, but he can still help the heroes. "Hi, Mom!" Izuku grinned, dropping a duffel bag on a chair and leaning over. His mother grabbed his cheeks, pulling him close and pressing a kiss on his forehead. It was tradition. "Izuku!" His mother bundled him into a hug, then finally let him sit down in the chair next to her. She still held onto his hand, and he let her. She was a little pale, but had more color than last visit. It looked like she was getting better. "How are you doing, Mom?" he asked. His mother smiled, tired but genuine. "The doctors say I'm getting better. Just you wait, Izuku. I'll be out of here in no time. Now what about you? You look chipper today." Izuku smiled brightly, scooting closer to his mom. "I don't want to be a hero anymore," he said, pulling out an envelope with an official-looking seal on it. "But I think I know what I want to do instead." She took it from his hands, looking at the document with interest. Her eyes widened as she read the letter. Izuku was fidgeting in his seat, so he started rambling. "It's just, I'd been analyzing heroes and villains forever, and I didn't know that you could even be paid for that. People got paid to do what I do as a hobby, and it's fitting, you know? Because if I can't be a hero, I can still help the heroes." His mom folded the letter and put it back in the envelope, then leaned forward and pulled her son into a warm hug. "I'm so proud of you, sweetie." Izuku cried happy tears into his mom's shoulder as she cried into his. Midoriya genes, after all. He and his mom spent a little bit of time talking about what he'd have to learn to do, but he had to go to work. The next 3 weeks passed by in a blur, between keeping up with online school, increased hours at the cafe, and the encryption classes he signed up for. It was busy, but fun. The challenge hurting his brain in a good way. He was thankful that his dad's child support payments still come. They were enough to help cover rent and the new classes. He was aware the payments would stop eventually, but that was a problem for future Izuku. Future Izuku was apparently present Izuku, as he stared down at the email in his inbox, basically saying that his father was going to stop sending child support payments, since he was essentially taking care of himself. Fun. But Izuku was nothing if not stubborn, so he ignored it for now. Pulling out the green manila folder with the encrypted analysis on midnight, he folded a letter inside and got up to make a delivery. Kayama Namiri, the pro hero Midnight, was not expecting the notification that something was dropped off in her P.O. box one Sunday morning, or more accurately, the middle of the night, at 2 a.m. She has fans, but this is just ridiculous. All the teachers had a P.O. box at the post office nearby the school, since most of their agencies were too far to reasonably be expected to collect mail every day. Namuri herself usually only makes the trip to her agency about once a month, just to make sure nothing was on fire and that everything was handled. At least she was already awake grading papers. Maybe it was a student dropping off their essay late? She'd have a small talk with her students about how skipping sleep decreases the quality of their work. Anyways, she might as well go get it. She took a quick look at herself in the mirror to make sure no one would recognize her as Midnight. She wore a simple black overcoat, a pair of ducky pajamas, and a pair of ratty sneakers that she had forever. A pair of glasses were perched on her face, and her hair was pulled up into a messy ponytail. Satisfied that she wouldn't be recognized, she stepped outside, starting to head towards the post office. Thankfully, the teachers' dorms weren't too far. All in all, it was a pleasant walk. The night air was cool yet refreshing for being in a stuffy apartment all night. The few people around didn't spare her so much as a passing glance. It was nice. Stepping inside, she gave a tired nod to Yoshimura. She's been there often enough to know the night shift's name, and slogged to her P.O. box, expecting to see a hastily written essay. She frowned when she saw a green manila folder. Taking a look around, she hesitantly pulled it out, flipping open the folder. There was a letter, followed by 20 pages of encrypted papers, with a few sketches of Namuri's hero persona and her equipment scattered throughout. To stave off the growing headache, she flipped back to the front and read the letter. To Midnight-san. Hello, this is Dekiru. I'm a new analyst trying to break into the scene, but I don't have an attachment to an agency or the connections to start my career. So I've sent you an analysis of you, your quirk, and fighting styles for free. This will be the only freebie. I've got rent to pay after all. The analysis is encrypted for safety purposes. I don't know how to secure a P.O. box but I burned the encryption code a long time ago. I trust you or someone at your agency can decipher it. Feel free to respond with feedback. I am a new analyst after all. I'm aware there could be mistakes or oversights. The P.O. box I will be using professionally is XXXX in Mustafu. I only deal in paper. Online leaves too much of a trail. Thank you for your time. Dekiru. She raised her eyebrows. This was certainly not what she expected when she opened her P.O. box. Quickly taking her leave, she pulled out her phone and opened up the group chat. UA Teachers and Company, 2:35 a.m. Alright, so real quick I'm going to run through all of the different names that they'll be under. Too Much Perfume is Midnight. Lie Detector is Sukauchi. Eraser Dad is Eraserhead. Giggles and Shit is Miss Joke. And All Might Jr. is Night Eye. Too Much Perfume. Holy shit. Eraser Dad. Whatever it is, no. Lie Detector. Is this a serious holy shit? Or a non-serious holy shit? Too Much Perfume. I'm not even gonna argue with you right now because shit's real. Oh my Junior. What happened, Amir? Too Much Perfume. I got a notification of a drop-off in my inbox at 2 in the goddamn morning. Giggles and shit. Goddamn. Too Much Perfume. Shut. Too Much Perfume. Anyways. Too Much Perfume. I opened it to find a green manila folder to find a letter from a new analyst and like 20 pages of encrypted analysis. Lie Detector. Who's the analyst? Oh my Junior. And why not email this to you? Especially if the papers are already encrypted. Too Much Perfume. Calls himself Dekiru. Too Much Perfume. Said they dealt with paper only. Leaves less of a trail. Oh my Junior. That's suspicious. Oh my Junior. Have you deciphered it yet? Too much perfume. No, I'm on my way. So there's a keyboard smash right there. I don't really know how to say that. Giggles and shit. Question marks. Too much perfume. I ran into a pole. Giggles and shit. Well, watch where you're going then. Namiri rolled her eyes, pocketing her phone and picking up the pace. She's home in a few brisk minutes, taking the time to really quickly feed Tamamin and put her on her shoulders. The ball python uncurled in her presence, wrapping around her neck and shoulders as she sat down in front of the desk she'd been grading papers on. She pulled out her phone, opening up to an app specially designed by Nezu for deciphering encryption such as the one currently on her desk. Usually only Mirai or Shota ever used it, but it was good to have for situations like this. Going through and taking pictures of all the pages, they were double-sided, Kami, and the letter for good measure, she hummed a wordless tune as she waited for the app to process. Her eyes widened as she scrolled through the pages. The analysis was broken down into various sections, from questions and theories to ideas for improvement, to costume and support item suggestions. Strengths, weaknesses, ways to exploit and counteract those weaknesses, and even ideal missions for the R-rated hero to be on. The information was a rival to Nezu himself. The thought of Dekiru and Nezu meeting sent a shiver down her spine. UA Teachers and Company, 2:51 a.m. Too much perfume. So I deciphered it. Giggles and shit. Spill the tea. Too much perfume. Shares the information. Too much perfume. The pages were double-sided. Giggles and shit. Holy shit. Lie detector. The info is dangerous. Oh, one sec, y'all. Sorry about that. Lie detector. This info is dangerous in the wrong hands. Eraser Dad. At least they're aware of how dangerous this knowledge is. Too much perfume. This info rivals most pros. Giggle shit and shit. I want one. Oh, my junior. We must find out who this is. Lie detector. At least he seems earnest. Too much perfume. I'm gonna send him a letter back. Giggles and shit. Get one for all of us. Too much perfume. I will. Too much perfume. Even the morning crowd peeps cause I know they won't leave me alone if I don't. Eraser Dad. Is all she said to get him one too. Eraser Dad. He's reading this over my shoulder. Giggles and shit. Aww. Giggles and shit. True love. Namuri put down her phone, cracking her knuckles and pulling out some paper in an envelope. She had to be quick about this. After all, she did still have papers to grade. Chapter 2. Colin's Response. Izuku was on his morning jog, some pre-chorus music playing in his ear as he ran his usual route to the post office. Yes, it's foolish to think he'd get a response after only a few hours. 4, but he definitely wasn't counting. But he was too excited not to check. His usual route consisted of running from his apartment to the small cafe around the corner for breakfast and a coffee, to the post office, and then past Dagobah Beach to back home. He took sips of his coffee, black with a couple of espresso shots. He didn't get any sleep last night. As he entered the post office, waving at the receptionist and moving to his box. He just blinked in confusion at the box. There was the usual spam mail for his mom, consisting of lawn care pamphlets and baby ads, but there was an official-looking envelope with a UA seal on it. He grinned, dumping all the other pamphlets and ads into the recycling, and clutching the letter close to him. Draining the rest of the coffee and dropping the empty cup into the garbage, he ran back home, giddy with excitement at a response, and so soon. He was physically vibrating as he pulled out his mom's letter opener, being careful not to cut the letter in his haste. Opening it up, he made his eyes widen. To Dekiru-chan. This analysis is absolutely amazing. It's better than most pro analysts. Please send me your rates so that I could pay you for this freebie. You absolutely deserve it. Who are you? Who taught you how to analyze like this? At this point, I'm considering firing my current analyst and hiring you instead. For being new to the scene, you have incredible intelligence. It's comparable to Nezu himself. Please don't tell him that. If you two meet, the world might end. Also, a few of my friends want an analysis of themselves. You should recognize them as pro heroes Present Mike, Hawks, Mirako, Miss Joke, Ingenium, Eraserhead, and Sir Night-Eye. Please respond as soon as possible. They are very excited to work with you after seeing the analysis you sent me. Don't worry about encrypting them. The P.O. boxes are secure enough that no one will be able to break into them. As for those theories and questions, you sent me a lot of things that didn't even occur to me. I'll be testing those today. I'll send you a letter with the answers. Thank you for your talents. The R-rated hero, Midnight. Izuku flopped face first onto his bed, pressing a pillow into his face, and screeched. Midnight responded, and liked it. She said that his analysis was better than most pros, compared to Nezu himself, and wanted him to do more. He pulled out his phone, calling his mom. As the phone rang, he bounced on the balls of his feet. Izuku, honey, what's going on? His mom asked, worry barely concern sealed in her voice. Instead, he covered his mouth to contain an excited squeal before the floodgates burst open and he started to ramble. Nothing's wrong, really. Everything is fine. More than fine. It's amazing. I told you about the new dream of being an analyst, right? Well, last night I sent an analysis to Midnight, the Midnight, about her, and she responded this morning. And she liked it. She compared me to Nezu himself, the smartest being alive on the planet. And she said my skills were better than most pro analysts. And here's the thing, right, she wants me to do more. Pro heroes like Sir Night-Eye and Present Mike and Hawks. A chuckle from his mom snapped him out of his rambling. I'm so glad you're happy, sweetie. Well, you should respond to them, but you have to get your schoolwork done first, and eat breakfast. You ate breakfast, right? Izuku nodded, then remembered this was a phone conversation. Yeah, I did. I picked up a couple of muffins in the small cafe on the way to the post office. I'll work on school, I promise, Mom. Get well soon, okay? Of course, sweetheart. You have a good day. You too. Izuku ended the call, still grinning as he opened the green folders and blank pages. His single-minded focus drove him into writing. It would be a few hours before he re-emerged, ready to face the world. Nomuri was really lucky that the notification for her PO inbox was in the middle of her lunch break. One of the students she was with, a few needed to borrow the art classroom for their projects, so she was fine with sitting with them. Looked up at the whip crack, the ringtone for her notifications. She casually opened up her phone, then looked up at her students. Can one of you be a dear and go get something for me? She asked casually, trying not to vibrate with excitement. I can. One of them stuck their hand in the air, a second year in support with a mutation quirk, Tomito, if she remembered correctly. She tossed her keys to the boy, who caught them clumsily. Head to the post office a block over yonder. She gestured vaguely in the appropriate direction. And collect something from my P.O. inbox. If you explain that I asked you to get something for me and show them my keys, I'm sure they'll show you where it is. Bring it back and don't look at what's inside, got it? The kid nodded and skedaddled. Nimiri had to wonder about who exactly Dekiru was to be able to send back these replies so quickly. How much time did he have on his hands? Surely he at least had a part-time job, right? Or university? It took the kid only about 10 minutes to return with a green manila folder, same color as last time. She grinned and dismissed the kid to go back to his work, opening up the folder. To Midnight-san. Thank you for the compliments. I'm honored to be compared to Nezu himself. My current rate is 16,000 yen per analysis. You don't have to send me money for the freebie. It really was no trouble. I can't reveal my name. I'm afraid it will damage my credibility, the little I have. I wasn't taught to analyze. I've been doing so since I was a kid. You should have seen my first analyses. They were written in crayon and just amounted to so cool. I'd be honored to do these analyses. I want to be paid before I hand the analyses over, although I don't think you would rip me off. I don't want to take the chance. It has happened before. I'll take half up front, half after, or all up front, whichever is more convenient. As for encryption, I am going to continue encrypting them. It's not that I don't trust you, I just want to be careful. Plus, encrypting them has become a habit at this point. Again, thank you for the response. The newest analyst, Dekiru. Namiri took a picture of the letter, sending it to the group chat. UA Teachers and Company, 12:21 p.m. Too much perfume. Since the picture. Lie detector. Isn't it the middle of class? Too much perfume. It's my lunch break. Oh, my junior. That is low for the amount of work that Dekiru has been able to put out. Alright, so we have a couple of extra names here, so I'll go through them real quick. Take names, kick ass is Miriko. McChicken is Hawks. Neum is Ingenium. Put 'em up is Present Mike. Take names, kick ass. All in favor of paying him 30 times that, say aye. Too much perfume. Aye. McChicken. Aye. Oh, my junior. Aye. Neum. Aye. Put 'em up. Aye. Eraser Dad. Get back to teaching class. Also aye. Alright, y'all. I think we're gonna go ahead and leave this episode right here. Actually, no. Let's do one more chapter. This has been kind of short. Let me take a drink, y'all, though. Chapter 3. The Letter Brigade. Izuku woke up the next day with a crick in his neck from where he had been laying over his notebooks. His papers were all dry, thankfully. He's a drooler. And the coffee kettle he'd grabbed was empty. It was simply inconvenient to refill a mug over and over while he's in the zone. Going on his morning jog refreshed him just enough so he's coherent when he orders his breakfast and coffee. A skip in his step started to emerge as he jogged. He couldn't help being excited. Midnight has an incredibly quick turnaround time, so hopefully the others did too. When he opened the P.O. box, the receptionist stared at him wide-eyed. He didn't pay her any mind until he opened the box. And 8 envelopes fell out, all from different but still super official agencies. Giddily, he grabbed them with the enthusiasm of a kid in a candy shop and bolted out the door, running back home like a fire was under his feet. It was all he could do to keep himself from slamming the door and to actually sit down at the counter and read over the letters. His eyes were wide as he read them. To Dekiru-chan. You are absolutely being paid for your work. You don't have a choice. Take my money. I understand the need for secrecy in our line of work. It's amazing that you've been honing this skill for a long time. I'd totally like to see your first analysis. By the way, it's probably adorable. I also understand the need for caution. I'm sure you'll see that my friends are all respectable heroes, but I understand that not all heroes are. I wish you luck in your career, and I look forward to working more with you in the future. Thank you for your hard work. The R-rated hero, Midnight. To Dekiru. Hey, little listener. I'm assuming that you're younger than I am, because Midnight said that you were trying to break onto the scene. For just getting into the industry, your analyses are amazing. They rival Nezu himself. Don't tell him I said that. I already sent the payment for an analysis on myself. You did an excellent job with Midnight. I'm excited to see how I can play around with my quirk. Put your hands up. The voice hero, present Mike. To Dekiru. I've been personally trained by the HPSC, so I don't get impressed easily. But your analyses are seriously impressive. Who are you working with? Who taught you how to analyze? I'm curious to see what you come up with for me. I've already sent you the money. Good luck. The wing hero, Hawks. To Dekiru. You've caught the attention of multiple pro heroes. Your analyses are impressive for being a newbie. It's honestly a little suspicious. But I'm sure the others will be grilling you in their letters. I'll get straight to business. I've sent the money for an analysis on myself already. Don't disappoint me. The rabbit hero, Miruko. To Dekiru. What school did you go to? Personally, I hope this amazing mind was at Katsubutsu, although I'm kind of jealous that I didn't see you if you did. I'm getting off topic. I sent you the money for an analysis of me. Based on the work you did for Midnight, 16,000 yen per is pretty low. You're selling yourself short. Have a laugh today. The smile hero, Miss Jo. To Dekiru. It's an honor to be able to commission you for an analysis. Your analyses are very impressive, and for such a low rate. I understand you're a new face in the industry, but you are selling yourself short. I've paid in advance, like you requested in your letter to Midnight. Please take your time and don't feel like you have to rush. I look forward to what you send me. The Turbo Hero, Ingenium. Dekiru. Who are you, and who taught you how to analyze like this? In the wrong hands, this could kill people. At least you've got the sense to encrypt all of these analyses. I've sent you the money for an analysis. Eraserhead. To Dekiru. Who are you? For being a new analyst, the analysis on Midnight is very impressive. You have a talent desperately needed in this industry. I've sent this money for an analysis on myself. I look forward to working with you in the future. Sir Night Eye. P.S. I have an appreciation for jokes. Every letter had a check folder with it, and Izuku's eyes bulged at the amount of money. Each check was 500,000 yen, adding up to 4 million yen, all in one day. His brain was going to explode. He was calling his mom in an instant. What's up, Izuku? His mom asked, noticeably calmer than last call. Mom, do you remember me telling you about the analysis I sent Midnight? Yes, I do. Well, I just got 8 letters from different pro heroes, all with checks. Of 500,000 yen. I just got 4 million yen, Mom. Am I dreaming? This is amazing, Izuku. 4 million yen. You've always been brilliant. I'm glad the heroes are recognizing it too. Izuku flushed, his hand instinctively covering his face as it got... Just a second, y'all. Train's passing. Sorry about that, y'all. I think it's passed. Alright. This is amazing, Izuku. 4 million yen. You've always been brilliant. I'm glad the heroes are recognizing it too. Izuku flushed, his hand instinctively covering his face as it got more and more red. Even at 14, he still can't take a compliment. 4 million yen, he repeated, as if it was a dream. With this kind of money, I could quit my job at a cat cafe. I could sit there as a patron instead of as a barista. You can sign up for that programming class you've been eyeing, his mom said. Don't sputter like that. I know you've been eyeing them. What? Oh, Izuku, honey. I have to go do some tests. But can you tell me about it when you visit tomorrow, okay? Of course, Mom. I love you. I love you too, sweetheart. His mom hung up and Izuku beamed. He went over to his analyses on the 7 pro heroes, which were almost done. They just needed to be polished up. He cracked his knuckles and got to work. Rent and Quirkus medical bills weren't going to pay themselves after all. Nimuri drummed her fingers on the table, eagerly awaiting Shota's return. They sent Shota to the post office to pick up their mail. It wasn't often that you got 8 pro heroes, a sidekick, and the principal of UA into the same room, but this was an exceptional situation. Keigo and Rumi were talking among each other, both of them eating out of the same fried chicken container. Seriously, that amount of fried food cannot be good for them. Hizashi was amiably joking with Amy and Tensei, and Mirai and Juzo were discussing their new analyst. Nezu was on the phone, probably going through the security cameras to try and figure out who the new analyst is. It was then that Shota returned, opening the door with 7 green folders in his hands. Everyone jumped up in excitement, and he passed them out. Nimuri was slightly disappointed that she didn't get a response, but she busied herself by looking over Amy's shoulder instead, and at the non-encrypted letters everyone got. To President Mike-san, you're right about me being younger. I'm currently going through the first year of online university. Thank you for the compliments. It's an honor to be compared to Nezu. One of the suggestions that you should focus on first, and the one I'm most excited about, is the control of your pitch. Can your pitch become loud enough to only affect those with mutant-type quirks that enhance their hearing? Can you lower your pitch to match certain frequencies? Putting my hands up, the newest analyst, Dekiru. To Hawk-san. I don't work with anyone except myself and my cat. Her name is Sushi. I'm self-taught. I've been doing this since I was 3. I'm flattered that you're impressed. Honestly, it's still baffling to me that people like my work. Also, if you need any help with the HPSC, send me a letter. I'll do it pro bono. I'm always willing to take down corrupt organizations, or corrupt branches of organizations. You get the point. Thank you, the newest analyst, Dekiru. To Miruku-san. I get it. Between the paper trail only and the resistance to give out my actual name, that I come across as being suspicious, I promise that I'm dedicated to your safety. It's why all these analyses are encrypted. I appreciate the reprieve from being grilled. I hope I don't disappoint. The newest analyst, Dekiru. To Miss Joke-san. It's a small online school no one's ever heard of. I wish I could have gotten into Ketsubutsu, but alas, I could only dream. The rate is mostly due to the fact that I'm a new analyst, and also because it only takes me a few hours to put these together because of my prior knowledge. I'm working off of the 4,000 per hour number, but because I don't actually know how long it'll take to put an analysis together, 16,000 yen is the best average. I did have a laugh. The newest analyst, Dekiru. To Ingenian-san. It's an honor to be commissioned. Thank you for the compliments. I'm hoping these will submit me a foothold in the analyst world. Any opportunity I can find is one I'll take. These analyses didn't take much time at all. To be honest, as soon as Midnight-san said that you are all interested in getting one, I started putting them together right away. It only took a couple hours to polish yours and put it together. I hope you enjoy the work. The newest analyst, Dekiru. To Sir Night-Eye-san. I can't reveal my name, but I appreciate the compliments. Honestly, I didn't even know until recently that my lifelong hobby was actually a career path I could take. Here's the analysis, as well as something that a little extra for you and all the heroes who work hard. I look forward to working with you more in the future as well. Dekiru. P.S. French fries weren't made in France. They were fried in Greece. Eraserheadstone. I cannot reveal my name, but I can say that I'm self-taught, through many years of practice. You really don't want to see my first notebook. It was written in crayon. I'm well aware of the dangers of this information. That's why all of the analyses are encrypted, only in paper and delivered by hand to your P.O. boxes. Don't worry about an encryption key. I burned it long time ago. It's an honor to be doing an analysis for you. You've always been a huge inspiration for me, as a hero who avoids the vultures and as a hero who essentially fights quirkless most of the time. Which is why, from the bottom of my heart, please change your goggles. It's physically killing me that you're using slits instead of some sort of one-way mirror. That's how something gets past the goggles and into your eyes. Dekiru. Oh, you have a fan, Shota? Namiri teased. They must be really dedicated if they know him, Tensei said, already skimming through the pages. Mine is extraordinarily detailed. There were nods across the board. Then Keigo spoke up. You know, I always wondered about those, he said, gesturing towards the goggles around Shota's neck. Before that conversation could continue any further, Amy gasped. Mirai, what is that? Mirai pulled a picture out of his envelope. It was a picture of a fluffy calico sprawled out in the sunlight. Most notable was the heart over one eye. When he showed it, everyone started cooing over the cat. Even Shota was smiling. That must be the present Dekiru mentioned, Juzo said. Also, their jokes are good. We've got to send him something back, Amy shouted. Maybe a picture of Shota with all the cats sleeping on him. Absolutely not, Shota glared at the pro hero. How about I write the response for all of us? Nezu said, something gleaming in his eyes that looked a lot like mischief. Suddenly, Namiri shivered, for reasons definitely not related to the imminent end of the world. Alright, y'all. That's definitely a good spot to leave this off. I hope y'all enjoyed. I'm going to be trying to get these episodes out pretty quick, so if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Ciao for now.